Hi everyone, if you're new to my channel, I am KP. Today's topic is, drumroll please, mean, median, mode, and range. As as you can see, I have already written down all the steps for finding the mean, median, mode, and range, and our keyword for the day, including this box where we will perform our practice problems. First, let's find out what the mean is. Mean, the same thing as average, is the technique we use to find what the average is. So the steps for finding the mean is number 1, adding up all the values in the dataset. A dataset is right here, some numbers in a bracket that you use when you find the mean, median, mode, and range. So to find the mean, you have to add all the values in the dataset, then divide by the number of values in the dataset, meaning how many numbers or how many values are there in this dataset. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers in this dataset. And this one right here, this dataset, we will save for later when we are on the mode. So the mean is the average, like we said. Let's go on to median, or the middle value. We use median to find the middle value. And the steps for finding the median is finding the middle value in the dataset, and it is different for odds and evens. And by odds and evens, I mean that it is different for, remember, we counted how many, the number of values in this data set. That's what I mean. Then if there's an even number of values in the data set, then it's different. If there's an odd number of values in the data set, then it's different. So now let's go on to the mode. The mode is the value that occurs the most times in the data set. So this one is pretty easy. All you have to find is which number occurs more than once. And the range is something we use to find the difference between the highest and the lowest values. So without further ado, let's get started on our practice problems. So let's get started with the mean, or the average. To find the mean, you have to add all the values in the dataset. So we are going to be looking at this dataset, not this one here, only this one. So what we have to do right here, as it says, we have to add all the values in the dataset. So you can use your head and do it in your head, or you can use a piece of paper to find how the sum of the values in the dataset. So the answer is 18, and then 18 is the answer for the first step of finding the mean, or the average. So the second step is to divide by the number of values in the dataset. So if you count, you can see that there are 6 values, and 6 divided by 18 is 3. So the mean is 3. Next, we have the median. For the median, you have to find the middle value in the dataset. And like I said, it is different for odds and evens. This one is this data set is even. So we have to find the mean of the two middle numbers, the 3 and the 3. That's what we have to find the mean of. So if to find the mean, we have to add all the values, then divide by the number of values. So we have to add 3 plus 3, which is 6, and divide 6 divided by 2, which is also 3. So our median is 3. And when it's an odd number, there's an odd number of values in the data set, we have to just find the number that's in the middle of all the other numbers in that data set. So our median is 3. Now onto our mode. The mode is the value that occurs the most times in the data set. In this data set, the one above, the first one, the 3 is the one that occurs the most times. You can see that very easily. So our answer is 3. But like I said, we're going to use the second bracket to find why sometimes there is no mode. Sometimes there's no mode because all the values in the data set only repeat once, not more than once or not less than once. So when this happens, we can either write not applicable NA or no mode. So this way, the person who is checking our work can see that there was no mode for this question. Now, let's move on to the range. The range, like you can see, is the difference between the highest and lowest values. If you don't know what difference is, it's the answer to a subtraction problem. So with that being in mind, let's do the work for range. 5 minus 1 in the first data set, you can see 5 minus 1 is 4. So 4 is our range. And you can see that all of these are pretty straightforward and it's not very hard to do all of it. It just takes a couple of minutes and you're ahead. And one thing I forgot to mention for the mode is that it's really easy when you put them in order from least to greatest when you're trying to find the mode of big numbers such as 30 or so on. And I really find that helpful, so I'm sharing the tip with you. Next time you try to do a mode with big numbers, just keep in mind that you should probably put them in order from least to greatest before you start doing your work. So that's all for today, but before we leave, let's review what we did today. So we learned about mean, median, mode, and range, and we learned how to find the mean, median, mode, and range using a data set and looking at what the steps are to find what the answer was to our sample problem. And we also learned that our keyword was data set. We figured out the problems, and our mean was 3, our median was 3, our mode was 3, and lastly, our range was 4. So this is what we learned today, and I hope you come back soon to watch another one of my videos, and please do not forget to hit that subscribe button and click the like button and turn on your notifications, and also don't forget to share this video with your friends if you find it is helpful. So I will see you very soon. Bye.